Hi guys, my name is Criado and this is Interesting Random Facts Academy. And today, well, as you can see, we're finally recording an actual video for this channel. Yeah, it has been a long time, almost like 5 months, I think, or 6. Today, as you can see by this shirt, we're gonna talk about the history of Manchester City in the Champions League. Out of the years that took for Manchester City to win their first Champions League title. So let's talk about that. But first of all, do you see the button? Yeah, the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button, because if you click the subscribe button, you're gonna be a new subscriber to Interesting Random Facts Academy. And if you obviously like the video, don't forget to smash the like button. Yes, don't forget to smash the like button. And well, without further ado, let's begin. The first time the City played in the Champions League was in 1968, when the club got out in the first round. When Manchester City became a rich team and won the 2010-2011 FA Cup and the 2011-2012 Premier League, the club got to participate in both editions of the Champions League of 2011-2012 and of the Champions League edition of 2012-2013, where the club got out in the group stage. In 2013-2014 and the 2014-2015 season, Manchester City got out of the Champions League in the round 16, both times against Barcelona. As we can see, they were lacking tradition in the Champions League. However, in 2015-2016, Manchester City hired new players such as Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. With that, Manchester City was able to advance to the semi-finals of the Champions League, where they lost to the unbelievable Real Madrid of Zinedine Zidane and prime Cristiano Ronaldo. In 2016-2017, Manchester City coach at the time, Manuel Pellegrini, left the club after winning so many trophies with City, and Pep Guardiola signed a contract with the club. With City signing new players such as Ilkay Gundogan, Gabriel Jesus, and Leroy Sané, the club got out of the Champions League in the round 16 against Monaco that had the young Kylian Mbappé. In 2017-2018, Manchester City bought new players such as Ederson, Kyle Walker, and Bernardo Silva. And even though Manchester City finished the Premier League with 100 points, the club got out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals against Liverpool. In 2018-2019, City won every single national trophy. In total, they won all 4 possible national trophies that an English team can win in a season. But in the Champions League, they were once again knocked down in the quarterfinals, this time by Tottenham Hotspurs. In 2019-2020, Manchester City lost the Champions League again in the quarterfinals, this time to Olympique Lyon. In 2020-2021, Manchester City made an outstanding performance at the Champions League by defeating Borussia Mönchengladbach, Borussia Dortmund, and PSG in the semi-finals. In the final, Manchester City were the favorites against Chelsea, but with a goal scored by Kai Havertz, Manchester City lost the Champions League final. It was heartbreaking for every City fan on that day. But for the 2021-2022 season, Manchester City made one of the biggest transfers of all time by signing Jack Grealish for 117 million euros. It looked like Manchester City was in the right path to win the Champions League of the year, but in the semi-finals against Real Madrid, Rodrigo scored 2 goals that knocked Manchester City out of this competition once again. It looked like City had just wasted their best shots of winning this competition, but things will be different for the 2022-2023 season. To solve the problem, Manchester City first signed with the goal-scoring machine Erling Haaland. Besides that, Manchester City also signed a big contract with the young Argentinian player Julian Alvarez. With almost the same starting lineup from the 2021-2022 season, and now with 2 promising world-class players, Manchester City was ready for the 2022-2023 season. Like the previous years, Manchester City was favored to win the Champions League once again, especially right now that they had the perfect striker. In the group stage, Manchester City finished in first place with no difficulty. In the round 16, Manchester City tied the first game against Red Bull Leipzig, but in the second leg of the round 16, City, specifically Erling Haaland, destroyed Red Bull Leipzig 7-0. In the quarterfinals against Bayern, City secured their win in the first game, and in the second game they tied 1-1. In the semifinals, Manchester City was going to face not only the kings of the Champions League, but the same team that defeated them last year, Real Madrid. But this time, Manchester City had a slight advantage for having their second game at Etihad Stadium. However, in the first game, Vinicius Jr. scored 1-0 for the Los Merengues, but Kevin De Bruyne tied the game for Manchester City. After a tie in the first game, Manchester City had a slight home advantage, but no one was expecting that City would just simply destroy the kings of the Champions League, with 2 goals scored by Bernardo Silva, 1 scored by Eder Militão, and the other one scored by Julian Alvarez. Manchester City was in the Champions League final once again, this time against Inter Milan. Like the 2021 final in Porto, this final wasn't going to be easy for Manchester City, and they saw that in the first half when Inter Milan locked their defense in, and even when the Italians tried to open the scoreboard, there was the Brazilian wall, Ederson. At the top, there was someone from City predestinated to be the hero of the match, and this someone is Rodri, who scored 1-0 for Manchester City. Inter Milan tried to tie many times with Lukaku. After so many years of failures in this competition, Manchester City has learned the lesson, and now a club that was considered to be small in England at the beginning of this century is now a champion of Europe.